The air was thick with fog as my friends Sarah, Alex, Jake, Emily, Matt, and I stood before the rusted gates of the abandoned amusement park. Our breath was visible in the chilly autumn air, and a sense of foreboding settled over us. The park had been closed for years, rumored to be haunted by vengeful spirits. We scoffed at the tales, eager to prove our bravery. The gate creaked open with a sound that echoed through the silent night, as if beckoning us to enter. We exchanged nervous glances but stepped forward, our flashlights cutting through the darkness. The once vibrant attractions now loomed like skeletal remains, casting long, eerie shadows. As we ventured deeper into the park, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The Ferris wheel stood motionless, its carriages swaying gently in the breeze, emitting an unsettling creak. The prize booths, with their faded toys and dusty shelves, seemed to watch us with hollow eyes. Out of nowhere, a low, mournful moan echoed through the park. We froze, hearts pounding, as the sound grew louder and more distinct. It was as if the very ground beneath us was groaning in pain. We tried to laugh it off, but the unease was palpable. We decided to split into two groups to cover more ground. Sarah, Alex, and I headed towards the haunted house, while Jake, Emily, and Matt made their way to the roller coaster. The haunted house loomed before us, a derelict mansion shrouded in darkness. We took a deep breath and stepped inside. Inside the haunted house, the air was stale and suffocating. Cobwebs hung like tattered curtains, and the floorboards creaked ominously under our weight. Our flashlights flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced on the walls. Suddenly, Sarah let out a blood-curdling scream and vanished into thin air. Alex and I were paralyzed with fear, calling out her name in vain. The only response was the echo of our own voices. Panic set in as we frantically searched every room, but Sarah was gone. The house seemed to twist and turn, corridors lengthening and doors appearing where there had been none before. Meanwhile, at the roller coaster, Jake, Emily, and Matt experienced their own horror. Matt had disappeared without a trace, leaving Jake and Emily in a state of frantic desperation. The roller coaster cars, now animated by some unseen force, began to move on their own, their rusty wheels shrieking in protest. Reunited in the center of the park, we were gripped by terror. The park had come alive with malevolent energy. Shadows flitted just beyond our vision, and disembodied whispers filled the air. Every step felt like we were being watched, hunted by something unseen. The cries and whispers grew louder, more insistent. We heard footsteps behind us, quickening as we picked up our pace. In the distance, ghostly figures flickered in and out of existence, their faces twisted in anguish. A sense of dread settled over us, heavier than before. Desperate for answers, we stumbled into the old administration building. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay. We rifled through old papers and photographs, finding an article about a tragic fire that had claimed the lives of several teenagers on a school trip years ago. As we read, fragmented memories resurfaced, piecing together a chilling truth. We were those teenagers. We had perished in the fire, and our souls were trapped in this cursed park. The realization hit us like a sledgehammer. The park wasn't haunted by strangers, it was haunted by us. Our own restless spirits had been playing out this nightmarish scenario over and over. The park began to transform around us, the rides creaking to life with a ghostly glow. Other spirits emerged from the shadows, their faces contorted with pain and sorrow. They reached out to us, their whispers blending with our own frantic thoughts. We could feel their anguish, their desire for release. The haunted house seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, its walls closing in on us. The Ferris wheel groaned and began to turn slowly, its carriages filled with spectral passengers staring blankly into the void. The entire park was a grotesque theater of the damned. A bright light pierced the darkness, creating a portal that beckoned us forward. It promised peace, an end to our torment. We gathered together, knowing this was our only chance to escape the eternal nightmare. As we stepped through the portal, we felt the weight of our past lives lift, leaving behind the haunted grounds that had been our prison. As we crossed into the light, the park fell silent once more, its eerie attractions waiting for the next souls to wander in. Our story had ended, but the park remained, a sentinel of horror, ready to ensnare new visitors in its web of terror. Let me know in comments if you like it, and don't forget to like and subscribe.